Welcome to the Bear Sheet broadcast, where we talk about building stability, preserving legacy, and strengthening the communities we call home. I'm Kalia Heaven Barak Yahu, founder and president of Bear Sheet, a 501c3 nonprofit here in the Richmond area. I'm honored you're spending this time with us. This show is a safe space for real conversations about home ownership, financial well being, life decisions, and the choices that shape our family's future. Our mission is to empower families to build lasting stability by providing holistic education and compassionate support in homeownership, wealth building, and end of life planning. Today, we're going to pick up on the topic of inheriting homes. Last time we did an episode on inheriting homes, we were talking about the benefits and the things to be aware of. If you have siblings, how to handle that, just all the little caveats that go into inheriting a home and helping you plan for that. But let's talk a little bit about if you already have that inherited home, what your options are and what you should do. So if you already have a home and you've inherited, you probably already inherited everything else that comes with it. So if there's maintenance that's needed, if there's a mortgage that needs to be paid, the lawn that needs to be upkept, maybe the utilities if you're keeping those on, all those things you've already inherited. And if you have siblings, and also those conversations are, what are we going to do? Are we keeping it in the family? Are we going to rent it? Are we going to sell it? Are we going to are we going to fix it up if it needs fixing up and flip it, as they say, put it back on the market? Do we have the money to do that? So all of these are questions that come up. Who are paying the taxes? Who's going to help paying with the taxes? Also, all of these are questions that you have to think about. Most recently, a question came across our desk, and it was a person who had inherited a property, had put it on the market to sell. The house needed some work, plumbing, roofing, electrical, so it wasn't in pristine condition. And when they put it on the market, it didn't sell. And what they were getting was, if they don't fix it up, then no one was going to buy it. And, every market is different. But my recommendation when the question was brought to me is you want a realtor who is familiar with inherited properties. See, all realtors, they can't do all things. And realtors are good. We can all sell homes, but everyone has their niche. They have their place where they have the most experience. It may be an area, it may be luxury homes or probate homes, maybe single family homes or move up buyers. It may be senior family homes. Everyone has their niche. And when it comes to dealing with inherited property, you want someone who is familiar with that. And the reason is they're going to give you some options. If they understand that sometimes helping with inherited property is a labor of love, because you're going to put in a lot more labor than you may earn back on any commission. There's been many properties where we've helped people and we haven't made any money from it. Yes, we got paid a commission, but when you factor in the time and the helping to get things fixed up and ready, and dealing with this contractor or that contractor, referring to this family member, or, all the different things that go in, you really didn't make any money. You really did it because you wanted to help that family reach their goal. And that's what people in that industry, in that line, who dealing with that niche do. It's more of a labor of love sometimes than it is getting paid a commission. So you want someone who understands that it may not be as simple as this is the path and then it's going to sell. There may be something that comes up in the end on the title, and they may have to do extra work that they're not getting compensated from. So in this case, when the house didn't sell, the question was like, well, what do I do? Because I'm paying taxes on this property every month. I'm not looking to sell it. It doesn't have a mortgage, but I don't have the money at this time to put a new roof on and do new plumbing and do new electrical. And even if you have the money, maybe it's not something you want to do. So what are the options? Well, a realtor is going to tell you, we can sell it for you, but we're going to have to price it that way. If you want pristine dollars, you have to present a pristine house. If you don't want if you don't want all the money for the property, then you can sell it in an as is condition. People are going to understand that you're not doing these big ticket items. You're not fixing the HVAC. You're not doing those things. But you're also going to have to price that way because they're going to be looking for a property that is priced where they're going to have to put all that money in. Sometimes those numbers do not sync up with what you're looking for. Many times, an investor is going to give you 70% of the after repair value, somewhere as low as 65% of the after repair value. So, if that house was in pristine condition, this is what the value is. But being that it needs all this work, they're usually going to back out that 30%. They're going to take off the cost for the roof, the HVAC, the plumbing, the electrical, everything to make this house in very nice condition, and then that's what they're going to offer you for the house. So yes, it's not going to be that top dollar. It's not going to be something where maybe a family member or an individual will just want to go live in there who may pay a little bit more. It's not going to be those numbers. It's going to be investor numbers. And so you have to prepare yourself for that. Now, let's say you have a mortgage on the property and taking an investor offer doesn't work because it's not going to cover the money that's owed on the property. Well, if that's the case, a realtor should be able to say to you, why don't we fix these things, work with you to get a contractor. Now, every area is different. So if you're listening to this outside of Virginia, you'll have to check and see what they do in your area. But I can speak to Virginia. There are some contractors that will get their pay at closing. Not all contractors. It's not always something people like to do, but if you have a realtor who's in this space and has those connections, they've been working with these contractors. These contractors know that they're going to get their money at closing. That realtor is going to work to make sure that house gets sold. So they are willing. They may ask you to pay something up front, but many times they will take that payment at closing. And I've had a lot of blessed contractors here in, the greater, I say, Central Virginia area who have worked with my clients and taken payments at closing, put a new water heater in, HVAC system, a new roof, went under in the foundation and in the crawl space and got all that moisture out and, did all those things because I had created that relationship with them. And through that, I was able to pass not only the pricing, but that relationship on to my sellers and, were able to get their houses fixed up. So you want a realtor who works with them, who understands inherited property. The other thing is they may have a lot of investors. So even if you put it on them, even if you decide like we buy ugly houses, we buy houses, there's a lot of investors out there, especially nowadays in the AI day, you can put it in Google. Please give me a list of investors in the area that buy as is houses. You can put it in your Chat GPT or Gemini, whatever you're using, and it will give you a list, phone numbers, links, and everything. They will buy houses, but you can still hire a realtor who can put it on the market and can get investors as well. Now, it may not be those same investors because many of those investors benefit from not having a realtor involved. They can give you sometimes, I don't know if it's better pricing, but they can give you different pricing because that commission is not there. However, sometimes you end up losing money in some cases because you don't have that person negotiating for you on your behalf. So, my recommendation is put it on the market as is. Tell your realtor that you would like an investor and let her or him find a realtor for you. Sorry, find an investor for you that can work with your property. And many times they will come, and investors, I've had some investors that have made some really good offers on properties where if that seller was selling by themselves, they were not getting that offer. So these are some options. So don't be discouraged if you have a property that's inherited and you put it on the market and it doesn't sell right away. You just need the right fit realtor that understands this space and can guide you with what you need to do. Talk you through, should we fix it up? a little bit, do some things. I mean, put a new roof on, some of the things that are needed, and get us a buyer that way. Pay at closing maybe for with the contractor. Can we sell it as is? Just put it out there. And another thing that that realtor will sometimes do is get you quotes. So you're putting it on the market as is, and it needs work, but you're also on the back end providing quotes for how much all those things cost, so that when someone is shown that property, they don't have to guess, because many times people's guessing numbers are higher than the cost of what things are, because they don't know what's hidden under there. We may say it just needs a new roof, and they get under there and it needs new wood boards, and there was a hidden leak, and all there's two roofs on there instead of one roof. So if you get these quotes already, someone can, all they have to do is calculate, this is the estimated cost to get these things done. Make all the work easy and be upfront. Take pictures. Sometimes I see these houses and they're sold as is, and there's no pictures. Like there's one picture of the front and one of the back, and it's like sold as is, come see. No, put it out there. Unless there's like a tenant or something in there and they don't want their items shown, let everyone see, because then you get people, they already know this house has a whole bunch of stuff in it, or this house looks like it's fallen down in the middle. So when they're making an offer, they know what they're making an offer on without even having to come out. They still come out, but they already know. They say, nope, that's too much work. And that sort of avoids like people who just come out to see or just want to know or not sure. This is going to bring you more serious buyers. So find a realtor that already understands this. Another person had posed a question, and so they have a property, is a family property, and the siblings didn't want to sell. So one person wanted to sell out of the five of them. So it was like, okay, well, we'll all keep the property. But the question that the person had was, do I still have to keep this property if all my siblings don't want to sell? Technically, you can't sell the entire property if your siblings don't want to sell. Everybody has to be in agreement to want to sell, but you can sell your interests. And this person that was looking to sell had their reasons for why they no longer wanted to be part owner in this property, and they wanted to sell. They were very determined. So you can sell the answer, at least here in Virginia, you can't sell the whole property. But if you technically own 1/5 of the property, then yes, you can get with an attorney, ask the attorney, let the attorney work through all the details with you, and you can sell your interest in that property, your 1/5. So now your siblings, your other four siblings, they're going to own that property with another person. So, but you will no longer own that part, and you can get your money from that part. And attorney, now you want an attorney who also knows how to do this. Attorneys specialize in different things. A probate attorney will probably be able to help you with this. If not, you want to call and ask them and explain the situation and say, do you handle these types of transactions? Because all attorneys do not. So you just want to make sure. When you're inheriting property, there's so many different caveats. There's so many different situations that can come up. And sometimes it's really just thinking through what you want to do. In the case of the first person we were talking about, making those property tax payments can be a lot of money. And having to, even if you don't have the utilities on at the property, just having to make those payments can be overwhelming to some. And then that doesn't include if you have a mortgage. What if you had a mortgage on it and now you're paying for the mortgage, the property taxes? What if you needed to keep utilities on? All those things cost money. So it's just really making an informed decision. And at Beresheet, if you have a question like this, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you live. Now, if we don't know something because you're not in an area that we're familiar with the real estate laws, we will refer you to somebody who is in your area that can help you. So we're not going to speak to things that we don't know about, but that's one good thing. It doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter where you go to work, where you live. Beresheet is a 501c3 nonprofit, and we started this nonprofit to help you. to help you wherever you are, to meet you where you are and help you get to where you need to go. And whereas we may not know every answer, but we are dedicated to making sure you get the help. So we will connect you with someone who does have the answer if we don't have it. So, yeah, if you have a question, please feel free to give us a call or send us an email to info@bearsheetcorporation.org, and we will do our best to be able to help you, because that's what we need sometimes. We need someone who knows the answer, or even who can walk through these steps with us, give us suggestions on what to do so that we can make informed decisions. There's been many people who have called me and said, I got this property, I inherited it, I want to sell it, I got to get rid of it. And yes, I'm here, my team is here to help you sell, but we ask some other questions too. Why do you want to sell? Are you sure you want to sell? And not because we don't want to sell. We'd love to sell the property, but sometimes people just don't know. Well, I don't know what else to do with it. I already have a mortgage on my own house. Did you think about renting it? Is it in condition to rent? Did you think about fixing it up? Don't have money to fix it up? Did you know that there are pay at close contractors out there? It all depends on who your realtor knows, or sometimes even you just calling. So there are options out there. It's just people need to know what they are. So that goes now to, how do you choose the right realtor? So when you're looking for a realtor, you nowadays, you can Google, you can say, find me a realtor good at inheriting properties, find me a realtor who does probate. Look for someone too who may have some videos out that are educating the people on it. You can educating you on what to do. Look at their Google reviews. Make sure they have good reviews, showing that they provide good services. You can call up a title company, a probate attorney, and say, who do you use? Who do you recommend? I have a property I'm thinking about selling, and do you have a realtor that you may refer me to? So you don't have to just settle with going on Zillow and here's a realtor, or this is a realtor that a family member used a long time ago to buy their house, because they may have used them to buy their house or to sell their house, but has anyone used them to deal with inherited property? Because when these questions and concerns come up, you want someone that's going to be able to answer them for you. And if they're not going to be able to answer, you want to know that they have a network where they're going to go get the answer for you. They're not going to just throw up their hands, or they're not going to just let your property sit there with no option. They are going to find that answer for you. They're going to work hard for you. So those are some of the things you want to think about. And you want them to be a licensed realtor. So, and many times people will say, well, I use my family friend, or I use my relative. You have to remember too, you have to think about worst case. If you use your family member or your relative, and they're not someone that you know that's going to work hard for you, are you prepared to fire them if they don't help you well? And that's a true question, because this is work. This is business, and you want someone who is going to do the business for you, not just because you know them or you're related. They're going to work for you. And if they're related to you and they're going to work for you, then that's awesome. They'll have your best interest, but make sure that is the case. We had someone who came by and asked, if they sold, would they have to pay taxes, or how much would they have to pay in taxes? And this is a good question. You're always going to have to pay taxes when you sell property, barring something. Usually you can be prepared that you're going to have to pay some taxes. But this is a good question to ask your tax accountant. What is it? What am I going to how much am I going to have to pay in taxes when I sell this property? How is this going to affect my tax return? How is this going to affect, your situation? This is a good question to ask, so you know what to expect. Because most of the time, I know I said always, but I'll say most, just in case there's a situation where you don't, you're going to have to pay taxes. So you want to be prepared. You want to look at the full financial picture of what's going on when you have an inherited property. Another thing that I wanted to mention is there are realtors out there who are investors as well, and they will work with you. Some of them will help you fix up the property. They will take on that part fix it up, and then sell it for you. And then you will give them a part of the proceeds or their money back because they took on the expense of fixing up the property for you. And that may be another option too, because you may get way more money if the property is fixed up, but you may not be able to do that. Well, if you allow that investor realtor to help you, they have the connections, they're going to take on that part of the responsibility and getting it fixed up, because, and they're going to make sure it's done well because they want to get their money back that they put into the property. And then when you sell, that you get your money, they get their money back and some of the proceeds because they helped make the house better. So this is, an option too. And when you're looking for a realtor, you can look for one and say, do you do investing as well? Because that someone who has multiple options to give you is what you need when you're inheriting a home. I was talking with a client not too long ago, and they had a home and had a lot of their loved ones' items in there. And the question was, what do we do? Do we sell our house like this? Do we clean it out? Do we have a junk person come? Do we do a yard sale? Like, what do we do? Well, there are estate planners out there, or and they'll come out and they'll do auctions and they will take inventory of all your items. They will go ahead and you'll pay them after everything sells. You'll give them a portion of the proceeds. Well, this could be a great option for someone. One, you may not have the time to put everything out to do a yard sale and meet all the people and advertise. So having someone who already does this, they have people who are following them because they are going to look at these estate sales. Having someone come out there and do that is extra money that you can put in your pocket. And this is a way so that you can maximize the inheritance that you have received. So, if you have questions on inheriting homes, I mean, there's probably a lot of other questions and caveats and things that can come up based on the situation. Please ask. These are very good questions, and these are true situations that are happening to people right now. So if you're in, the Virginia area, let's move from inherited homes for a moment. You know that there are these wildfires going on up north in Canada, and the smoke and everything is coming down. I heard now it's in parts of Virginia, it's in parts of North Carolina. Please be mindful as you're out, and please check on your loved ones. For some, it's not a big deal. They're not really feeling any effects of it. But as I talk to people, they have let me know some people are feeling the effects of what's going on. So if that's the case, please make sure you're checking on your loved ones, your elderly family members. Wear a mask if you are experiencing anything. You just want to make sure that you are protected. And definitely check on your neighbor. If you know you have a more seasoned neighbor, see how they're doing. Make sure they're doing okay, because we have to look out for each other here in this world. I had saw, nowadays you can see a lot online. You see Facebook and Instagram. There's so many places, Reddit, and there was a person who was unhoused, and he didn't have anywhere to go. Educated person, and he was asking if people knew where he could, go use the facilities, the restroom in the nighttime. Like, these are true situations for people going on, and they need help, and we have to be the ones to help them. They were asking if there was a place. They weren't getting much sleep because they were sleeping in their car. Not everybody wants to go to the shelter. You definitely got to be more mindful when you go to the shelter. Some of the shelters are really good, and then some of them, it's just everyone can go. So sometimes people don't feel comfortable in the shelters. But anyway, he was talking about being able to find somewhere to sleep, because you'll see signs up all over saying no loitering. You can't just sit in the parking lot, no overnight parking, and people need places to park to be able to sleep. So if you know of anyone in the Virginia area that provides a resource to be able to help our unhoused people, please send us an email or reach out. We are getting as many resources together so that when we can't help, like Bear Sheet ourselves, we can help by referring that person to someone else who can, and making that connection, not just the referral, oh, try this or try that, but no, this person at this office so they can help you with this, because people, they need help. So we want to be able to help. So if you know anyone, if you have a resource, if you want to donate, if you want to donate a driveway so that someone can park in your driveway so they can get some rest while they're trying to look for housing, or if you have something that you may want to give to help support these people, please reach out to us as well so that we can make the connection. And you can also visit us on our website at bearsheetcorporation.org and see other ways to be involved, to volunteer, to donate, to do these things, because what we're doing is giving those resources to those that need it. No one should have to live in their car, and so many people are getting laid off right now. And now thinking about it with the air quality so bad, I mean, I think in Virginia, in our area, we were in the purple. So I don't remember when the air quality has been that bad. So definitely want to help the people that need help. The other thing that came across our desk was someone who had went from the foster care system out into not being a part of that system anymore and looking for work, looking for a place to live, looking for, to so they could start moving forward and making money. Because when you don't have an address, it's a little more challenging for you. When you don't have stability, you don't know where you're going. It's challenging for you. So these are things that Bear Sheet are trying to help people with. And we appreciate you listening, you sharing these messages with other people, your contributions and your support, your positive comments, all those things, because how the saying goes, it takes a village. Many times it does. It takes a village, and this is the village. If you have a question that we haven't answered, or something that you've been thinking about and you want some more clarity, please go ahead and send us an email to info@bearsheetcorporation.org. When thinking about inheriting property, think about the things that we spoke about. If you have questions about not so much inheriting, but getting property and how to get ready for that, and how to make sure that the property that you are purchasing, that you keep it in your family. Maybe it's something that you want to pass down later on. Those are good questions too, to start talking with someone. If I want to leave this house to my children, or if I want to leave this house to my family members, what is it that I need to do? If you want to do something else with your property, you want to leave it to a charity, what is it that I need to do? That's why it's important to have a will. Different states have different laws, but it's very important to have a will, because all of your desires are in that will. So, and someone can look at it and say, this is what they wanted us to do. So some things to start thinking about, because we have homes, you may have stocks, you may have cars, you may have mutual funds, you may have all these things, but if they're not properly set up, what you desire to happen with them may not happen. To everyone who is listening to this broadcast, and if there's help that you need, please go ahead and reach out to us so that we can help you and make those connections. If you know of someone who's in need, please share this broadcast. Please be that person to stand in the gap, whether to connect them with us or connect them with a resource that can help them. If today's conversation gave you clarity, answered questions, maybe generated some more questions, we invite you to connect with us. Bear Sheet is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We don't discriminate, and we welcome anyone who needs help. Has questions, just reach out. If we can't help you, we'll connect you with an organization that can. Follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube for more conversations focused on building stability, preserving legacy, and strengthening communities we call home. Visit bearsheetcorporation.org. Email us at info@bearsheetcorporation.org, or call 844-405-3924. Join us next time as we continue these conversations that help families move forward with clarity, confidence, and dignity.